Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
The post-Civil War landscape of the American West offers escape and opportunities to many new immigrants who come to the country's shore. A few of them brave the journey to the camp town of Missouri Crossing, each looking for a new lease on life in the Dakota Territories. Join the settlers of Missouri Crossing, including Gregory Smith, played by Joaquin, Sister Margaret Miller, played by Monica, Bjorn Hagman, played by Chris, and Craig as the keeper of arcane lore, as we explore the horrors that await us on Down Darker Trails. So, Gregory, you're watching this sort of I'm not sure the word intimate is right for it, but this like very close conversation between Bjorn and Sister Margaret as they're like discussing this body and like they're like poking at it and touching it. And how's that making you feel, actually?
He is definitely being a bit weirded out right now because he's not didn't really get used to the bodies during the war, but he was still mostly used to somewhat used to the idea of seeing dead men or lying around, but seeing a dead naked woman, that's a bit of a rarer sight for him, and just to see them just casually poking them, prodding at it, he is very weirded out by it, because he just doesn't really he doesn't know how they can be so casual about it. To him, it seems.
So you're standing there with this half laundered piece of dark cloth. What are you doing as they're continuing on their investigation?
He'll wait for a bit to presume he thinks that they'll just talk for a bit, then they'll get on. But as the conversation keeps going, he will find that he starts to get awkward waiting. There's you're just sort of standing there holding the cloth, looking at a dead body. It's okay. He'll just sort of you see he takes a deep breath and just sort of pushes past him, just wrapping up the body. So you finished. Can you move on with your thing as we get this woman some dignity?
Go ahead, please throw the sheet down.
All right, and then, cover the body. So I don't quite know what we're going to do with her next. If no one knows who she is, then I suppose we'll have to make it some kind of grave for her. It's the right thing to do, I suppose.
Real quick, have you pulled her out of the water, or is she still kind of half floating in there?
She's on the beachhead, the riverbed. Excuse me, keep getting terms mixed up. Well, Gregory, this is something I've been struggling with. First thing is we're gonna have to figure out what the cause of death is. We'll have to see. Do you know of any medical practitioners in the city that you've come across?
What do you have?
Margaret will kind of jump in and put her hand on her hip and look at Bjorn as to say, seriously. And she'll say, well, I'm not sure if I know of any physicians in here, but if a war nurse, a well-decorated one at that, will do, I suppose I can have a gander at the body and see what I can find.
I just kind of smirk at her, not in a disrespectful, way. I was like, well, gander on, then sister, gander on. And I just kind of turn my back, respectfully, and kind of force Gregory to look away while I think at this stage, we start, respecting the fact that we're covering her up and everything like that. So,
okay. So what she's going to do, she's going to kind of take the cloth off the body, and she's going to start first pinching the skin to see how much water it has swollen with. She's going to look at the fingertips and toes just to see how swollen they are. And then she's going to examine the back of the body to see if when she was dumped, she was alive or dead, etc. Look for bruising and blood patterns. And I suppose I will do a medicine roll to see if I succeed. And I do not. I get a 65 out of 20.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to tell a lot of these things. You do, however, have the feeling that she's been in the water probably less than 2 days, but it's difficult for you to tell time of death, because she could have been taken out of the water or put back in. There's all these what ifs going on in your mind, and the fact that she is white leads you to believe that she probably is somewhat local, or at least the dumping or the murder or the accident or whatever might have happened local. But because I don't know, Margaret and tell me if this is wrong, but would probably assume that, like, I don't know, if it happened far away and then just floated downstream, it probably wouldn't like be like a European descent woman.
Right, and it certainly wouldn't look as clean as this looks.
Yeah, but there's just too many variables for you to get like a absolute, like, oh, it's like exactly a day or like 5 hours or whatever. So
Okay.
and like cause of death, like the immediate one, it's you're thinking drowning, but then there's this weird puncture marks under her breast. So it's just like so many what ifs.
All right, so she will turn to Bjorn and Gregory. She will tap Gregory on the shoulder to let him know it's safe to turn around, and she'll have the body covered up again. She'll say, well, she's been dead under 48 hours, that much I can tell. And that matches up with the fact that nobody knows her, and usually if you're here for at least 48 hours, someone has talked to you, someone has seen you, and nobody has reported her missing. So I can put her at under 48 hours. Anything beyond that is difficult to tell. I would believe she's a local given her complexion, her hair color, eye color, but unfortunately anything more than that down to the hour, I can't tell. There just isn't enough information and too many variables. I don't know if she's been touched by anybody else, fished out, dumped back in, but 48 hours is all I can tell you.
So, Sister Miller, can you go get Father Nos for me real quick?
I certainly can. Please excuse me. And she'll bow her head and be on her way.
I look at Gregory and I say, we need to go into the city, but I need you to send word to your brother.
What for?
Now I kind of like look at the river and I look back at him. Stuff like this cannot happen with no lawmen in town.
Well, I think that's why they happen to live in a town with no lawmen.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
So this is the sort of thing that does happen in towns with no lawmen.
Exactly. I think we need to remedy that. I think your brother and his pull with the federal government may be able to help with that.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of angry tempers when the army tries to go in places and say they're the law. Pretty sure we had a whole war about people who wanted to say the army didn't want to tell them what to do.
It's not the army that I want to be the law. And I just kind of look at him steely-eyed.
You?
Yes.
Well, look, I think of worse men for the job.
It was my job, literally. I just got like look at him.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot what you just said. That it's been a few. Been busy with work.
Listen, we got to go to the city. Please get word to your brother. But we need to find see if there's an undertaker for this lady. And I want to talk to this man that you spoke to, the one who helped you get the lease.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll be able to tell us if it's just some poor pilgrim who died on the way here. For all we know, it could just be someone died on the way here.
She's not a poor pilgrim. She's not a lady of the night either.
What? Who is she?
I don't know who she is, but I can tell definitely by what I'm able to identify. She's probably someone of high standing. Or a higher standing.
That does change things.
Her disappearance would probably be noticed. That's why I want to talk to this man who helped you get the deal.
All right.
Another thing, before Sister Miller comes back, I don't know. She seems worked up about something.
Well, as much as he tries to say she wasn't, she is still a woman. Sorry.
I know.
Out of picture. Sorry to all the
sexism. No, but I don't mean in that way. I mean, she saw something on the body, a bite mark. She doesn't think it's canine.
Yeah, she told me about that.
So she says she saw it somewhere else, and she's being awfully guarded with where she's seen it. She doesn't have anyone here to watch out for her, so say we do our best. Maybe we should bring her to the city with us. What do you think?
Well, the town's just, not that far away.
So we'll have her come with. Well, I'm going to have Father Nos kind of see if he could take care of the body until we find a undertaker and
all right.
Some
and then
steps.
At that point, he'll just grab the body and just sort of pick it up.
Grab the what? I'm sorry.
Grab the body and just start taking it over.
Oh, okay.
He's the blacksmith. He's got the arms for it.
I know. I forget like how big he is. I'm like, oh shit, I'd pull my back out. You know what I mean?
And it doesn't take Sister Miller that long to return with Father Nos in tow. It's this area that you're in is maybe 5-10 minutes walk from the camp that you guys put together, and just barely enough time has passed for the clothing that Margaret had been wearing to almost dry out. But Father Nos kind of kneels down and says a few paternosters over the body and agrees that putting together a service and giving her a proper Christian burial is the right thing to do, and agrees to your plan, Bjorn, of looking after her until such services could be arranged.
I just have one quick question before I take these two back to the city to talk to Father Nos. I just kind of pull him aside real quick and I just look at him. I'm like, do you feel safe here?
As safe as I could be. I have a close group of Christian brothers and sisters with me, and I have the sword of God at my hand.
I just kind of like nod and I'm like, are you armed? What other than with the sword?
He kind of smiles. And Gregory, you kind of remember seeing him like wielding like a cudgel as he and Russ Freeman had arrived to the campfire after the incident.
I take it you are then. I would just say maybe for the next couple nights, you and your brothers and sisters can keep an eye open at night. I don't know if this body was dropped here, if it washed ashore.
Father Nos nods his head and is like, I will pray on it and we will be ever vigilant.
I just kind of nod, and then I guess I'll walk up to Gregory and Margaret or Sister Miller. I'm like, Sister Miller, would you like to come to the city with us?
The city? What for?
We're gonna go see if we can find an undertaker. And I have words I would like to speak with this man that Gregory got his leases from. I think he would notice if someone of high standing or would hear someone was missing from the city. You could stay here if you would like.
She takes a second to think about it. Her mind is currently on Lavender, and Lavender suffered the same type of puncture wound injuries, and she would hate to see something happen to her and her body float down the river while she's gone. So she's going to shake her head and say, thank you, Mr. Hagman, but I'm going to have to politely decline. That seems like a job for you and Mr. Smith.
I kind of just nod to her, and then I'm like, I think for a second, like, I'm like, I want to like press her, but I don't want to press her on like where she's seen those bite marks, So I just kind of nod for a second. Like I look at her like I'm thinking about saying something, and then I just like shake my head and I go towards towards our horses because we ran down here, but go towards our horses with Gregory.
Mr. Hagman, do you know when you would return?
I kind of look, what time is it now anyways? I like pull out my pocket watch.
It's in the afternoon, probably around 2:00 at this point.
Early evening, I would assume.
All right. I wish you luck on your travels. God be with you. And don't forget what I told you earlier.
Then I just kind of like look at her for a second and I just kind of like nod and I turn around. And right as soon as like we're walking away, I look at Gregory. I'm like, how long would it take to get word to your brother?
That would take a bit long. Well, getting there wouldn't be too long, but getting there and back, that's probably...
Can you send a messenger?
Yeah.
Do they have messengers?
Gregory, you would know that in a couple nights, you would expect your brother to kind of show up to do his moonlighting gig at the woodcutters anyways.
Explain to Bjorn. Yeah, my brother, sometimes he does come down here for extra work just near the sawmill. If I got my days right, it should be tonight. Should be another one of those nights he come by.
I kind of look at him. Yeah, can you set up a time for him and I to sit down?
Well, I could just go over there and ask and see what time he's in.
Yeah, we'll do that while we're in town.
All right.
So you help Father Nos to carry the body back to the church, where he basically, takes charge of it just to kind of get it out of the elements a bit, and you make your preparations and head off into town. Sister Miller, what are you planning on doing during this time?
I figure Margaret is going to go back to her tent to make sure her book is hidden. She's going to go check on Lavender. And as long as she's alive and, still doing her work, she's going to come back and search in the book to see if there's sort of any sort of bestiary of anything unusual that she can peruse through.
Yeah, I mean, Lavender, as you know, would probably be likely just waking up at this point, and you don't really know where she stays or lives. But yeah, you could peruse anything else that you'd like.
Yes, and she wouldn't know where she is. What I mean is she would pop her head by the Silver Dollar, just check on, the mom of the establishment that, she showed up for her shift or something like that, and then go back to her tent. I'm assuming that Sister Michael would need some consoling, but when she got time to herself, she probably would dive into the book and see if she could find anything on like superhuman animals, etc.
Yeah, I mean, you'd also want to time it differently because you just like told Bjorn and Gregory that you declined to go into town with them, and they're presumably heading over to the Silver Dollar.
Why would they go to the Silver Dollar if they're leaving town? I'm confused.
No, I thought they were heading into town.
We're heading into town. We're heading into town to see if we can find Undertaker and then to talk to this man that Gregory made the deal with.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, because my rationale is like, this guy knows things, knows people, and I mean, I don't want to give away too much of what my conversation is going to be like, but
yeah, I you guys can do whatever you like. I just want to make sure that like we're sure what we're doing.
I mean, she could put on a mustache and then like who's that dude walking by? Okay, he's here to get a whore.
No,
Cool.
she'd probably wait till peak whoring hours to pop in.
Peak whoring hours.
Sure. So yeah, you go and you could console Sister Michael. She's putting on quite a brave face, considering everything. And to be fair, she's more interested in how you're doing because between the two of you, you're the one who lost 9 sanity.
Well, I think Margaret would explain kind of her eventual calm down as, I've seen a lot of dead people, unfortunately. I've seen a lot of people in pain. And not that it makes you hard to the suffering of others, but it definitely does help you steel your emotions so that you can take action where needed.
But sister, you don't have to play brave with me. I could tell you were genuinely frightened about something.
Well, certainly what we did see was absolutely mentally scarring, but somebody had to be brave, and I didn't want you touching it. Somebody had to get, Mr. Hagman, and I knew he would be able to do what was necessary along with Mr. Smith. So thankfully, thank God they came to us. God sent them to our way before we even had to call out for them. And, well, I'm sorry. I'm hurting as much as you are, but I've been trained in some way by the military to just hide it a little better.
Can you make me a psychology roll?
No, I got a 65 out of 30.
Yeah, she's looking at you with like the side eye, and yeah, sort of like as to say like, I'm not buying it.
So Margaret just kind of gives her a pathetic little shrug and says, well, it's all I've got. And she kind of laughs weakly and gives Sister Michael a tight hug and says, I'm here for you. You know that. Any time of day or night when you need me, I'll be here. I'm sure that whatever happened to that woman won't happen to anybody else here now that Mr. Hagman's around.
Of course. Our brothers in Christ will look after us. You had a long day. Why don't you get comfortable and I'll bring you some tea. And perhaps you can, I don't know, do a bit more of your Bible study while I crochet something.
Yes, I would love to do that.
So yeah, she disappears for a little bit and comes back with a couple mugs of chamomile, and really looks doesn't seem surprised or anything as you pull open a book or whatever.
I would imagine, of course, she's reading the Bible because she's not going to whip out the creepy witch book in front of Sister Michael. But in her head, she's kind of counting the minutes till Sister Michael leaves so she can read her book.
Yeah, and she's there for maybe a half hour finishing her tea and then gets off to, go take care of some necessities, and you're left alone for a while.
So once Sister Michael's gone, she's going to wait a couple minutes and kind of pop her head out of her tent to make sure that she's really gone and not, kind of spying around. She's sort of, it's not that she doesn't trust Sister Michael, but she sees her as kind of like an older sister figure where she could easily tattletale on her and is really kind of just keeping an eye on the mischievous little sister. So once she sees that she's got, the area to herself, she's going to close her tent, make sure that everything is like as close as it can be so that she can make sure she can see people. She's going to light a little lantern just so she can see any shadows that may be incoming. And she's going to open the book and start reading in the kind of table of contents to see what she could look. And I think she would pop open Lessons from the Dark Continent.
So here is a little snippet of Lessons from the Dark Continent. We are all slaves to something, whether the drink, the opium, the power, or the life. And as you read that, you see that the life is in all capital letters. War, too, comes from many forms, but the eternal struggle of our kind, again in capital letters, is what will ultimately soak the world in blood. And it goes on to kind of seems really self-indulgent, talking about this man who claims to have traveled to the far corners of Africa and was performing magical rituals that stunned even the local witch doctors, and basically ends with him murdering one of the witch doctors in order to gain his power, and was able to gather a bunch of followers from them, and basically talked about how he considered to start and make war upon the other people's land and take over, but then he just kind of gave it up because he's so enlightened. Yeah, it reads like a bunch of BS to you.
Margaret sort of groans as she reads it, but she forces herself to read the whole thing because, of course, she's afraid if she kind of skims it or skips a couple pages, she'll be missing what she's looking for. But it just sounds like a whole lot of self-aggrandizing, man speak. So she rolls her eyes and thinks to herself, well, it wasn't something that came here, brought by the Moors, by the slaves. So she's going to go back to the table of contents and Journey into the Orient is the next one, but it looks like there's no Orientals that she can think of. And the next one is Secrets of Arabia and the Himalayas. And she doesn't see that there's anybody like that in town. And she's already looked through Blood Rituals of the Aztecs, but she's going to pop that one open again just to kind of skim it through and see if there was anything she missed on the first pass that could have indicated anything like a supernatural creature that could be brought over that would have that specific bite mark.
I mean, we already read this one into the record, but this is the one where actually they had two of the book refers to them as magical spells, whether you believe it or not, that you heard of earlier. It even had the one on taming jinn. That's not really your area of expertise, but rattles on about that. It seems a little out of place given the subject heading, but also the body warping of Golgoroth spell is within this section as well.
So she vaguely knows that a jinn is something that comes from the lands of Arabia, so she's not going to even look at that. And from what she knows of it, it's just kind of like some sort of trickster deity. I mean, Margaret does have some points in occult, so she kind of knows the bare minimum of things from other cultures. And of course, how they're all wrong because Jesus is right. And so she skips right through that. And she looks at the second spell, and that's the one that she had been reading when the weird stuff happened to her in the bath. So she's tempted to reread it. Part of her thinks that she just fell asleep in the bathtub, but part of her is really worried that because she read from this forbidden, godless book, that something bad happened. So as tempted as she is to reread that, she's afraid of having the same thing happen to her again. So she slams the book closed and, kind of forcefully throws it against her bedding material. And she's very frustrated and says, "Oh, you stupid, stupid man. I open your book looking for answers, and all you give me is absolute gibberish. Worthless gibberish."
Can you make me a sanity roll?
Yep, I passed 28 under 52.
Yeah, you don't lose any. You're basically just kind of angry about the amount of time you've put into this project so far. All right. So Bjorn and Gregory, are the two of you planning to walk or ride into town?
Ride. I was gonna ride. That's how real men walk into town. They ride.
Gregory was. I think he initially just suggested that he just walk into the town, but then Bjorn says he got to ride in, and Gregory goes along with it because, well, he's got. All right, we got to make an impression, I guess.
Yeah, and Bjorn, you have Payday, and Gregory, did you have a horse? I can't remember.
I think maybe he had like something something like pulling the carts and stuff. So I'd say maybe he had like a.
I kind of recall like people someone was gonna trade you like some money and like a small like mule or something for some of your oxen.
Yeah, I'd say we can say I got a horse. I got borrow a horse or something.
Sure. So the two of you get access to some of the few horses in your camp. You could also borrow one from like Russ or one of the drovers as well. So you ride off. The two of you ride off into town. Sun's starting to set at your back because being almost autumn, it's about let's say like 4:30. So it's starting to set, but just enough of that western feel to have like an orangish sky in the background as you make your way up Main Street and kicking up dust as you ride. Dust which soon will be covered in snow all too soon, and you dismount and attach your horses to the tethering posts outside of the largest structure in town, the Silver Dollar.
I'll head in first. I actually know what the guy looks like, and I'll be able to start the conversation better off.
I kind of just follow the lead.
Yeah, and again, it's the same ruckusy scene that you've seen several times before. You see Brian the bartender is serving an already busy amount of patrons, some brown beer and these tall glasses, amber bottles of liquid, dachshunds barking everywhere, a couple poker games going on, and you see a few familiar faces, including Hendry Greer sitting at the bar talking with some people, and you would also notice Herman the Jew Brewster, who seems to be concluding business in another corner of the bar. You see several ladies looking at you, Gregory, and trying to entice you to spend some of your coin with them. Bjorn, you don't really get that offer outright.
So yeah, Gregory, he'll just make a beeline straight towards the Jew, and he'll just sort of he'll wait a minute to make sure he's not or talking to someone else. He's not that rude to someone who could possibly have him killed.
Yeah, you wait, and you're still in earshot of him, and basically it's just like another farmer who's come in, and they make terms to meet tomorrow morning at the SA office to finalize payments just that you had a couple weeks earlier. Yeah, Herman, recognizing you, Gregory, kind of smiles and says, "My friend, come to spend some more of your money here?"
No, I have different. I come to bring news. At that point, he'll sort of a woman's body, just washed up by the washing tent.
I'm watching his reaction to all this, by the way, too, just seeing how he reacts.
Actually, you could both make me a psychology roll then.
All right. 1 second.
Actually, a very important skill in this game, it's seeming to be.
Yeah. I got 3. Woohoo.
At 31, I did not make it.
I got 3 out of 50.
Well, Gregory, as you're talking to him, you're kind of just telling him the story as you found it, and Bjorn, you kind of see him go a little pale at the point where Gregory mentions that it was a woman who watched up, and you see a little bit of panic come across his face. And with your exceptional success, make sure you check, by the way. It might actually be permanently checked for you by this point. You notice that he's trying, he notices you noticing and then tries to hide his reaction but fails.
So was his reaction more of reflex of hearing that a woman died, or did it seem more I don't want to say it like this, but I'm going to say it like this, more oh shit, kind of reaction, you know what I mean? Some secret is out more, or is it more oh fuck, a woman died?
Sure, yeah. a body washed up, no effect on him. It was a woman. That's what gets the reaction.
Okay, yeah. So it's that maternal whatever every man has. Like, I gotcha.
Actually, with your exceptional success, you have a feeling that his reaction was more than just like the man protecting a woman sort of thing. You think that there might be some sort of like other concern related to it, other than just protection.
Oh, so just a woman. Oh, huh. So I'm just gonna let Gregory keep talking. You know what I mean? For now, as I'm watching this man speak.
And Herman basically kind of nods along with as you tell him the story, Gregory, and seems to like let you finish basically before really interrupting you at all.
So women, and I say once he's finished done talking, you know what I mean? Did you want to talk, or go ahead, Gregory? I apologize. I mean, go ahead, Joaquin. Out of character. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So we can't. Well, yeah. So no one seems to recognize her, and well, according to what Sister Margaret seemed to be able to tell us, she didn't exactly look like she'd been living rough riding for the last few days or even a while. So she had to have been around here somewhere with some means to her.
Herman will ask you for a description,
and Gregory will just give the best he can. Pale skin, maybe dark hair. It's it's wet. It's hard to tell accurately.
Yeah, like by the time you guys got her back to the church, it dried off. It's probably like a dirty blonde or like light chestnut color.
So like Gregory will relay that information.
And Herman kind of nods along, and kind of like you notice that there seems to be like a sort of relief that comes off of him, Bjorn, having just critted your psychology after getting the description.
You seem relieved that that she's blonde. That it's kind of like I'm playing like kind of dumb, you know what I mean, with them. Or
all right, I gotta make a roll for him.
Okay.
Yeah, he starts to smile. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't personally know anyone fitting that description.
But you knew someone else who was missing, right?
I mean, it's a rough world out here. People go missing all the time.
Well, that's strange because you just seemed like invested. You seemed worried when you said someone washed up. Now you seem relieved when you describe someone. So that in turn tells me then that you were thinking it could be someone that you know.
He starts off and then
can I roll my intimidate?
Yes, actually, yes.
All right, I want to roll my intimidate here real quick. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick to you, storyteller.
No. It's good that you're using your skills. That's what they're there for.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and give me a second. 5 out of 60. Yes, I'm marking that off.
Yes, first off, check it.
Check it.
He sort of starts like mumbling a little bit, and like he's like really backing down as much as he could. He's obviously conceded like the power in the room to you, Bjorn, and he's just kind of like he's being a bit meek and belittled now. So he's just kind of like making himself small about it. And Gregory, you notice that as the three of you are kind of having this conversation, you've drawn the eye of someone else that you know inside this establishment.
Was the creepy dude in the white suit? I forget his name.
No, you haven't seen him, but you do notice the guy in his early 40s with the bristly dark hair and Scottish accent paying close attention to your conversation.
I forget who that is.
Just a very friendly man who introduced himself to you as Hendry.
Oh yeah, thank you. I guess now he wants. Now Gregory's wondering, does he want to have Bjorn come over there and do his work his magic on him too, or what?
I'm not done with this dude yet. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
That's why he's like, dang it. He's doing something to get information out of the Jew, but he's like, there's more sources.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask. So, Bjorn, how are you laying into this guy? Because you basically have him at your mercy now.
So I'm gonna lean forward in because I'm not like I'm doing like subtle intimidation. I'm not doing like yo bro and like pounding my chest or whatever. And I'm gonna lean forward and I'm almost gonna like use my ugliness in as a way as a tool, you know. And I'm just gonna kind of like lean on one forearm and like stare at him and I'm gonna be like, you know, when stuff like this happens and there's no law, people tend to take it into their own hands. And I'm like looking at him intently. I'm like, you need to tell me what you know. If it's not important, we'll move on.
And and he's seeming really nervous at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just very glad it's not one of ours, you know.
One of your horse?
And he kind of looks down almost as if in shame.
So one of your horse, were you expecting one though?
No.
One dropped off in the river?
Of course not. We just, there's, a bit of a premium over here on, pretty gals.
And then I go ahead and I like take my other hand, like I'm gonna rest it, on top of my other, but I have my pistol in it. I like put it on the table and then I put my other hand over it.
Makes a loud clunking sound as you got metal on wood.
Yeah. And I look at him. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah. I look at him and I'm like, I used to be a lawman, son.
And as you say that, a few heads in the bar kind of turn and face. And Gregory, you're noticing all this as you're watching the scene unfold you. And
so Gregory is internally debating whether or not to take a step away from Bjorn or not, just in case the gunfire starts.
And so I'm going to like lean in and I'm like, tell me who could have done something like this. I know you know. Get it done with and I'll leave you.
At that point, Herman, the Jew, Brewster, kind of just starts weeping at the table. And the very polite Scottish man named Hendry kind of goes up to like, well, fellas, there's no reason here to start fights inside my establishment.
I look up. I'm like, there's no fighting here. We're having a talk. Go get yourself a drink. And I turned around and look at, like, I'm like doing that thing, you see in the movies where people are trying to like inject and like me and the Jew, and I'm not like using that derogatory, but we have like this connection, you know what I mean? And I'm just looking at him like, tell me now, boy.
So I would say either fast talk, persuade, or intimidation. It could go either three, in my opinion, but probably more of an intimidation.
Yeah. Oh, intimidation. Okay. Let's do it. They're both the same. So let's go ahead and do intimidation. So, oh, yeah. Fuck this. Hope this doesn't backfire. I'm fucking rolling. Good. I'm going to push this. So let's say I failed. So let's say, actually, hold on a second. How much luck do I have right now? I have my luck jar. I got 23 luck. I need to spend 19 to get that to be a success.
Yeah, that's a bit. That's a lot.
I'm gonna push it. Yeah, I'm gonna push it. So
sure.
Let's say push it. If I fail, I get like fucking booted out. You know what I mean? Like I get pressured out. Like everyone's like, you need to get the fuck out of here. All right. 54 by the skin of my teeth.
So just as you're like laying into this guy even more, like you Gregory, you're seeing like some other like toughs kind of come in to back up presumably their boss in all this. And you're recognizing Gregory having like a good view of everything, that they're backing up Hendry, not Herman in all this. But Bjorn, you kind of like give him like the wild eye, sort of like a different flavor than what you shot over to your comrades just earlier at the river. And like basically he's kind of startled by what's going on. And throughout all this, Herman just continues to weep. And you noticed, Gregory, how a few more of the patrons are just dropping some coin at the bar and throwing back their shot really quick and just kind of getting out of here.
So I'm going to grab Herman by his shirt. I'm not doing it forcefully, but I'm leaning, right? I'm going to pull his shirt gently and I'm going to whisper in his ear because I pretty much have figured out like my time is up, I'm going to whisper to him like, you don't tell me what I need to know. I will find where you sleep and I will get the answers then. And I pull him back. I look at him and I whisper back in his ears like, I will kill a man if it's for the right reasons. And then I like gently push him back. And I'll look at him.
Make me another psychology roll.
Okay. Psychology. Sorry. God damn, pulling my app up. 72, but I'm going to push it. Can I push it?
Sure. What's your consequence if you mess this
psychology? If I mess it, like he just shuts down. He doesn't fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It's like, let's make it better. If I fail it, I scare him too much, and like he just bawls. He goes into hysterics, and he like doesn't fucking
He's
tell me what he.
close to that already, so sure.
Yeah. Like it pushes him over the edge, you know. I feel it. So he pretty much like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's just crying. Like Gregory, through the calmness that you're exhibiting, you smelled urine. Like you notice like Henry doesn't even know what to do about this at this point. Looking around, he's like, how do I stop this? He doesn't seem like he knows how to at this point. There's just like this wild dog who just set loose inside his bar room. Basically, anyone who has any sense has already left. Poor Herman is just besides himself, and he's just looking for any possible escape he can get.
I think by that point, Gregory, he'll saying, "We gotta leave now." He'll just sort of, without taking his eyes off like Gendry and Hendry, whatever his name is, and all the rest. They'll sort of like reach around and grab Bjorn, and just like, okay, time to leave.
And I get up and I like
drag him.
Yeah, I get up and I do the polite thing. I holster my weapon, and then I just like push the chair in, and I kind of like slide my hair back and like put my hat on. And then when I walked past the Scottish dude, I just stop for a second and I just give him a look up and down. You know what I mean? I look him in the eyes, and then I just like turn and walk out with Gregory out the silver dollar.
And as you leave, Gregory, the observant man throughout all this, you're noticing that like Henry is basically like just standing there alone, and then he just looks over to like one of his aides, like, get that man up out of here. And one of the toughs goes and like picks the still sobbing Herman up and like carries him like fireman style up the stairs.
If you like the style and feel of Missouri Crossing, then you'll like Deluded. Set in 1848, Deluded follows a coterie who have set themselves to find out who is behind a mysterious tonic that plagues the kindred society of Victorian England.